All right. Well, welcome to episode 2 of Tales from the Head with our hosts, myself and Danny. We left you off last week with somewhat of a dark note, you know? It was a lot of my face disappeared a little, but it was a lot of God, that's annoying. There we
It's
go.
just, I think it just picks up like the black in your background or
The
something.
black and take it and make it green.
It knows your soul. That's why it's like, oh, the soul is
Knows.
black. Make it green.
But we had to clear the air. You know, we had some stuff we wanted to talk about, and it was dark. That's the point. So buckle up and get ready because it's going to get weirder. It's going to get darker. But there's going to be glimmers and points that'll either make you happy or, make you want to laugh a little, hopefully.
And I mean, we were having this conversation before we started recording. Is that it has to be dark. I mean, not to glamorize, certain feelings or certain mentality, but once you reach certain points, it does get dark, and we'll be doing injustice if we were to sugarcoat it. At least for my case. And I think the ultimate goal for this is, yes, to like help us, like, as an outlet to release what we feel and tell the world. But also, for me, the ultimate goal is to just have a listener to understand that you're not the only one who's going through it. We're all going through it. We all been through it. And I think that we need more of that in the world today, like empathy towards mental health, and knowing that, yeah, is everybody's gone that way. And sometimes people make it, sometimes people hold it, and sometimes people just don't make it. And it's not fun. It's not fun being down in that like mind space.
Yeah.
Mind space.
Yeah, dude. And it's therapy, man. Therapists don't get paid big money to listen to your accomplishments and all your achievements. They get paid to analyze your downfalls and the pits you dig yourself into and try and dig yourself out of. And we're in our 30s now, and we've dug some pits, and we've been in some pits. I mean, obviously, we used to mosh it up over at the Taste
Oh
of
yeah.
Chaos, and that's when we met each other.
Yeah, dude. We kind of talked about that in your podcast when you had me on last time. But yeah, like we used to we used to go shows and just like start shit. Like, remember going to the cave?
Oh God, that was like the mecca of everything back in the high
Dude,
school days.
I don't I don't think people can understand. I mean, people from San Jose, at least our
People that
friends,
went
and
to the cave get it, but
yeah,
people
but
don't.
people who,
Dude,
it's just,
I tried
bro,
explaining it to Steph, and it just doesn't. Maybe if there's 3 other people that could back me up,
yeah, no,
wouldn't
like,
think it's a delusion.
it wasn't just like a 1 day every 6 months. It was like a 3 day week. It was on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays sometimes
They'd have like
every
the
weekend.
best.
And it was like $5 to go. There was many times where I didn't even pay. I was just hang out like in the
Oh,
little,
in the parking lot.
yeah, in the parking lot, and like
Yeah.
in the little quad, and just hear like the music, smoke a cigarette.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It was kind of like, you watch those movies like in Dazed and Confused when they all went to the water tower and they were all partying. It was kind of like that. Like all the fucking hardcore and metal kids and all the scene girls and all that shit, we all cultivated to this one little church over off Lucretia
Yeah,
in a super
and
shady part of San Jose.
but it worked. Like,
It was perfect.
there was a lot of illegal stuff going on in the parking lot, a lot of underage drinking,
Oh,
for myself included.
everybody.
And
I mean,
then
not
like
everybody, but most of them.
a handful, at least our circle.
There were some
Uh,
straight edgers, but most of
yeah,
the people were getting fucked up.
there was a lot of straight edge people, and there was a lot of like Christian core people who
Yeah.
didn't drink or anything.
I mean, they did some questionable things with a crucifix once or twice, so you never know.
You know what's funny though? Not to disrespect anybody who's like super religious or anything. I'm not
Like
religious
I just
myself.
did.
Yeah. Well, he just like described a scene from The Exorcist, but that's besides
Yeah,
the
pretty
point.
much.
Yeah. No, but like, I'm not religious myself or anything, but I do if that's what helped you live
Yeah,
your
yeah,
life,
totally.
and I'm all for that, dude, like 100%.
Yeah.
But I think one thing about it is like at this time there was like people that you knew who did questionable things, and you knew because you saw them do questionable things, and then they'll go on MySpace and say like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Oh yeah.
Jesus before anything," or his, he died for my sins or
And
something. And
see,
I'm like, bro,
yeah.
well, bro, don't be a hypocrite, bro. I just saw you like doing sexual things in the parking lot at
I
the
just
cave.
saw you doing bumps off some girl's back of her ass, dude.
Exactly,
Come on.
exactly.
You don't
Come
love
on, bro.
Jesus. You think
Come
Jesus
on, bro.
loves that?
Jesus is not happy with
You think
you.
Jesus loves how much you paid for an 8 ball?
Oh, but I'm going to hell because I have an upside down cross in my t-shirt. I'm going to hell because of
Oh no.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
dude, it's the hypocrisy is totally real, man.
But dude, the cave was just so amazing. Like, and I was telling this to, I was reminiscing with this with our buddy Daryl. We were
Mhm.
like, dude, even if your friend's band suck, you still went to support because it wasn't even about the music anymore. It was just like hanging
Yeah.
out, talking shit, and just having a good time.
Well,
We
and
miss
you
those
know, it's
days.
it's funny. Like, I mean, it wasn't CBGB, but it was like our CBGB, and like it was like our like little hole in the wall that all these like acts, or you watch documentaries about rock bands, or there's a really good thrash metal documentary about the Bay Area called "Murder in the Front Row,"
Mm-hmm.
which is a Exodus song, but it's all about Bay Area thrash. Super
Really?
cool, like Exodus, Testament, Slayer, even though they're LA, but they're all homies. Metallica, um,
What,
all
Death
those bands.
Angel
Yeah,
and stuff
Death
like that.
Angel,
Yeah.
and it just talks about all the Bay Area thrash movement in the '80s, and there
Playing
was
at the
this one
Pound or
club in
something, I'm
like
pretty sure.
the Pound. I remember that in
Yeah.
SF, but there was this club in like Berkeley or Oakland that was like the spot. I don't remember what they called it, but it was just like it felt. Whenever they talked about it, they said, "Oh, when you went in there, it was super humid, and you
Uh-huh.
just tasted the sweat." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was the cave, like
Not the
super hot."
Gilman, right? Not
Huh?
Gilman? Not Gilman, right?
No, not the Gilman. I had a buddy who worked the Gilman,
Oh,
but
I get all I get really excited when I go to the Gilman to see shows because I'm like, fuck,
it's kind
Green
of a
Day played
punk
here.
club, right?
Yeah, it's more punk, but I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, Green Day played here. Fucking Metallica, well,
probably
Metallica,
Rancid or something.
Rancid,
Yeah,
Operation Ivory, AFI, and then you have
yeah,
all these like bands that we grew up listening to, like in my case, Poison the Well, Every
yeah.
Time I Die, all these like bands I grew up listening to, like they play there, and you're like, fuck, this is like our
It's kind of
historic
like, well, it's kind of like the catalyst for the
Sankers.
Bay. That because
Yeah.
the one time I went to the Catalyst, it was pretty dope. I
Hmm.
really liked it.
Yeah, Cows is fun, but dude, like the
Yeah,
cave
the
was just
cave was
awesome. I remember like seeing the Chariot, hardcore dancing to the Chariot.
dude. So, and by the way, this all is relevant because this was in a way, even though we didn't answer the question, but we did
Hmm.
subliminally because this was part of our therapy. Even at a young age, we not only were we socializing, but we were getting our angst out. We were young, and kids are young and anxious, and they have all this energy, and they need to let it out somehow. And some people do boxing classes, some people do art, some people do hardcore drugs, maybe.
Hmm.
But we chose different path, which was one to either enjoy music or to enjoy music and get the shit knocked out of you.
Yeah, and I always saw music as therapy. You know, I still like there's certain days where I feel kind of like if I feel a certain way, I throw in a specific album from my youth because they were and not that like if I'm feeling sad, of course I'm gonna play like really sad music, but it's not to make me feel sad. It kind of takes me back to being young
Mm-hmm.
and thinking I was sad.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just great because that was like, yeah, work sucked and school sucked, and we were like failing or going to alternative schools, and our parents are in the back telling us like, go to college or whatever, or when we're gonna
Right.
graduate college. But for like those 4 or 5 hours from 7 p.m. till like midnight at the cave, it was just like none of that mattered. All
No,
that
dude.
mattered was taking selfies, making sure nobody stole your lighter, and talking about MySpace and MySpace drama.
Dude, and I remember, so I got a bunch of memories from the cave, but I got one. I got one where I remember your brother was there.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know if you were there.
most likely I was there.
You probably were, but for some reason I don't know if I
When
remember.
Sympathy Ends played.
No, well, I'm remembering. I don't even remember who was playing. This was
Okay,
how lame this memory, but basically was because for me, I barely remember the bands.
mm-hmm.
I remember the crowd because
Right.
back then, a lot of our friends were into the moshing and the hardcore dancing and basically getting in fights. So what we did was, we mobbed together like warrior style, where you had your crew, and everyone had their little clique, and you just backed your crew up, and we didn't necessarily have a label or a name, but we were friends, so that was our group. And it kind of branched out. Some of us were in like 3 feet and shit. I don't know, I didn't go that deep, but
Yeah,
but
the
um but um
chipset.
yeah. And I'm cool. Like I said, I'm cool with all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I just never really. I was always kind of a nomad that was just homies with people. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
still how I feel.
Same.
But there was one time, and I remember the guy, and I don't care. I'll throw his name out because I don't give a fuck. But I think his name was Henry. I don't even remember. And I think he went to Lick. But
Sure.
anyway, he was like, I don't even remember the exact bullshit, but basically, like, you know how fools were back then in the pit. Like, if you're standing around, sometimes they'd hit you, and it's not a big deal. You get hit if
Yeah.
you're near it. But I remember I was going in, and this fool like tripped me or something. And and then I got mad, and he tried to get in my face. And then I remember Juan and Ryan was there too, but Juan was there, and Juan just straight up like went up to him like, you ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
That dude straight up was like, all right, whatever,
Yeah.
like fuck it.
Yeah.
But then I
I
think also he realized too, it's not that he was scared of me, because I'm not talking shit like that.
mm-hmm.
I think he just realized, oh, okay, he's cool with people I'm cool with. Even if we don't get along, he
Yeah.
knew like it doesn't matter. They're gonna break it up. They won't
Mm-hmm.
fight me, but they'll break it up. So, and like it was just funny. Like I remember Juan's just like one down dude, like your brother.
Yeah.
And it was funny too, because I knew him a couple times because I got to know him better in college at Evergreen, but
Mm-hmm.
he's just a loyal dude. Me and him got that in common.
And I think you bring up a good point is that even it didn't matter how long I knew somebody. It's like if you're friends with my friends and we're all rolling together, I have your back. If you're
Yeah.
not like an asshole or anything, I have your back. Dependent situation.
Right, 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 right.
Fucking somebody starts shooting at us. Fuck you, I'm running and I'm
I ain't in
tripping
no
you.
one's side. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, is that what I noticed is regardless of the drama in East San Jose and the quote unquote drama we grew up with,
Hmm.
once you see people outside of East San Jose, you know who they are because we see them, and then you have this mutual respect. Like I remember
Yeah.
running to somebody from the cave at Disneyland like 10 years ago. We're like in our mid 20s in this at this point.
Right.
I see somebody in Disneyland. I have no idea what this fool's name is. He has no idea who like what my name is, but we know each other from like the cave.
Right.
We kind of just look at each other. We kind of stare down at each other, and then we do like the what's up, homie, like the what's up
Yeah.
thing. And I remember I did what's up and did what's up, and I just flashed like a peace sign, and he goes, and he does like I'll see you like, oh, I'll see you later. It was like peace. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know you. You're from East San Jose, but I got your back.
Right.
Like, oh, that's my homie. I don't know that guy, but he's my homie.
Right.
If somebody here at Disneyland tries to do something, I have that fool's
One
back.
cuts in line, I'm gonna stab him.
if
Yeah.
if that
The
kid
Donald Duck fork.
if that kid spills some ice cream on my boy's shoes, I'm gonna show him what's up. I'm
Yeah,
gonna show
he's
him you
going.
miss.
He's going in the teacups on full
One
full
time,
speed.
I'm gonna put him down the fucking rabbit hole. One time.
Yeah. Forever.
No, but yeah, like just to bring it back in, like for us, music has always been like a therapy. It's always been very therapeutic. Is always like a way to distract people or distract you from what's going on. And I don't know about you, but something that I always love to do, and sometimes when I need to clear my head or I'm upset or something, I just go for a drive. I go for a drive and I put on some music, and it's just like it's like a combination of like focusing on driving, even though you don't really. I mean, you need to focus while driving, but it's not like
Right.
all your attention.
Hmm.
But that with the combination of listening to the song, and if it's like some fucking like, here I am, rock you like a hurt, you're
You
like,
get into it.
you know it, and you're kind of like it is for those 3-4 minutes, it distracts you, you
Right.
know,
Well, for
and
me, yeah,
it's all what
that's
we
pretty much
need,
how it is too.
distractions. But go ahead.
What I was gonna say is like, whenever I listen to music, I'm playing a video in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm animating what I feel like. In a way, basically, I look at music like this: music, animate, music, is the music is the music to my movie, which is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen to the music, I'm just animating it for my movie, which is my life. So,
Mm-hmm.
just putting yourself in it, getting into the song. I mean, it makes it easy for me because I smoke weed. So basically, you get high, you listen to music, and that's pretty much all that happens is you zone out and you're like, but every night I go out in my yard, and I mean, this is part of my therapy. I got to smoke weed because, I mean, yeah, I'm having a beer because it's International Beer Day.
Oh
Cheers.
yeah, cheers.
But, I mean, and beer's fine, but I like with the story I told last week. You gotta monitor the liquor intake when your mind is not
Mm-hmm.
at its strongest point. Not that I can't drink, but and during the week it's hard. You don't want to be hungover. You got work all week, and all that. But for weed, I don't get a hangover, so I just smoke at night. And this isn't a commercial. I'm just saying what I do. Like I like
Yeah,
to go out in the
absolutely.
yard. It's kind of like my meditation time. What's funny is a lot of the time, and then people probably think, oh, you just, some people probably like, oh, you just get high and listen to music. Well, that's a good use of your time. But for me, it is because one, it allows me, similar to your driving, which I also agree with. I love to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a zen, right? So what it
Yeah.
allows you to do is reflect. It allows you to kind of calm yourself, reflect, and reflect.
Yeah.
Because for me, I can reflect on a situation better when I'm by myself, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the weed helps me remove my bias, and it kind of humbles me because I don't know what it is about it, and maybe it's a placebo effect. I'm not a chemical
Yeah.
neurologist and all that shit, but what I do know is how it feels with me. And when I smoke, it allows me to sometimes look at the perspective from a more fair perspective. Like I'll say, for instance, I get, maybe me and Steph have an argument, and I go out in the backyard and I get real high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some point during my little experience, I'm gonna be like, yeah, but you know what? There was some shit I fucked up on too. And see, if I went out and drank whiskey in the backyard, I wouldn't be feeling like that. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I would just keep feeding the negative energy. I just keep getting annoyed about it, or I would just eventually drink myself into a stupor, right? So it's like, I'm not hating on liquor. Liquor is great and I love it, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to know how things treat you and how your body deals with it. And alcohol is not something that fixes my problems. So I like to use it to have fun, but that's it. It can't be.
No.
It's not a medicine for my mind at all.
And that's funny you say for you like weed is your meditation because I recently got into like meditation and breathing techniques and like mindful movement. That kind of what helps me like when I'm feeling stress or depressed or
So
something's
what's
triggering me.
mindful movement?
So it's kind of like meditation and yoga mixed in together.
Oh, that's cool.
So you focus on your breathing, but as you're doing your breathings, you're also like doing movements. You're stretching your body in a certain
Getting the
way.
blood flowing and all that.
Yeah, and it can be done standing up or in the like in the chair position. So I'm gonna definitely apply that ideology more into my school, into my to my students, because I think it'll be very beneficial, because we're living in stressful times with COVID, and we've been teenagers and we know exactly how it is. But going back to what you're saying with beer, I'm not sure about you, but like for beer, for me, it's like it's a hot day. you crack one open and you pound it, and next thing you know it, you're reaching for the second one already
Yeah.
in 2 minutes.
No.
And
So don't get me wrong. I love beer, and I
no,
love
yeah.
micheladas on a hot day like no one
Oh,
else.
you know what? I'm not really a big fan of the tomato sauce
Oh,
that
right.
or the
Okay.
tomato juice,
That makes
but I do like a michelada every now and then, or the chavelas, which is basically the same thing minus
tequila.
minus no, with the tequila, but minus the tomato juice.
So but see, the tomato helps mask all the shit. So what do you do instead of the tomato juice? You just do it without it?
Yeah, so when you order so it's a michelada and the other one's the chabela.
Mhm.
It's the beer. They add like lime into it, a shot of like tequila. They put some
Right.
like
But
razzle
the
dazzle in there.
Chavella is the one with tequila, and the
Yeah,
michelada is just the beer. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I like that one better than the michelada. And just, I
That
mean, don't
makes
get me wrong. I will have a michelada, but I'm not like if if the V8 or the tomato juice is too much, I'm like,
Clamato.
yeah, the clamato. If it's too much, I'm just like, yeah, we're not gonna. I'm gonna
Oh,
drink
I
this, but I'm
got
not
you.
happy.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm like one of those golden girls because I love me damn, what's it called? Fucking
V8,
huh?
V8.
Well, no, I don't mind those, but I like a Bloody Mary. There we go.
Oh, you fancy.
Well, but see, I like the ones with the fucking I like the fully loaded redneck ones that come with like a piece of
Yeah,
bacon, a giant
but
pickle.
you know what, dude? If you think about it, it's not really the Bloody Mary or the drink that we're drawn to. It's the Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah.
Like I've been posting this on my Instagram and on my Facebook. I go and have micheladas over at a restaurant here in San Jose, and it's pretty much like a fucking michelada, and they have like a mountain of seafood in top of it. And
Yeah.
honestly, I love it, but it's the razzle dazzle. It's like the seafood that drawn me into it. Like the
Yeah.
micheladas, whatever, but like the sprinkle on the top, I'm like, yeah, that's what I go for.
Dude,
And I
I
have,
mean, yeah, in a restaurant setting, it's really cool because then they give you like in those fishbowl glasses
yeah.
sometimes.
And I made it. Everybody's like looking at you, and you're like, "Yeah, bitch, look at me, look at me."
That's right. I'm having this at 10 a.m. And see, here's the thing. That's what I like about taquerias because they don't give a fuck
No,
what time of day it is. If you order it and they're willing to do it, here you go. There you go. And there's no judgment. You can't go into a white mom and pop and order. I mean, some of them, if they're cool, maybe,
yeah.
but like it's just like a cultural understanding that like Latinos and Latinas pretty much just you just mind your own fucking business. And
Y-
like unless they're like fucking with you or harming you, there's no reason to say anything. And I hella respect that.
But here's the thing, also, it's like if people, people are going to go and drink there, so rather drink there in your establishment, they go somewhere else and lose on that clientele.
Exactly. And the money
It's
and the,
business.
yeah, I mean, exactly. And people are gonna eat.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go ham on bottomless mimosas and be completely and falling asleep in a restaurant at 2 in the afternoon? Go for it, bro. Hey,
I did that at Flames once.
I
Not
done it
I
before too.
wasn't falling asleep there, but
Oh,
drunking expeditions ensued after.
it's horrible. I just go home. But no, but going back to my main point, like I'm not sure about you, but when I drink a beer, like I pound them for some. It's just like a natural thing. I pound
Yeah.
them, and then like by my third or fourth one, I'm like sipping on it. But then like they creep up on you.
Yeah, but then you're feeling good on at that fourth mark. You're feeling pretty good. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm feeling good.
But if you think about it, when it comes to like smoking weed, it's like a process. It's not like it's not like a cigarette that you're just gonna grab, light it up, and freaking down it. You can't. It's a process. You have to pack a bowl,
Mm.
look for it's like a process. Like you have to pack
And
a bowl,
that's
find a
yeah.
bong, roll it up, find your lighter, find your spot, because okay, I'm gonna sit down here, I'm gonna get high.
Mhm.
And like you need to find your safe place, if you will.
Right.
And then it's like the whole smoke. It's not like I'm not saying it's like doing cocaine, but like coke, like you sniff it up, and next thing you know it, you're like
Yeah.
it's automatic. Where weed is like you can't freaking like do a line of weed and then automatically hit
Well,
it.
the closest thing no, you can't. But a dab is probably the closest thing you'll get to a line because I've done a dab. I've done dabs a few times, but the first time I did it, I was at my buddy's wedding
Mm-hmm.
and we're in the parking lot, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I never done dab before, but fuck it, I hit a bong, like, and I knew it was
Yeah.
hardcore, so I wasn't trying to be like John Wayne or anything, but like,
Yeah. You knew
so I
your
lit the
limits.
thing, and fuck, dude, I filled that chamber up, and I fucking pounded it like a bong, but dude,
Mm-hmm.
because it's concentrated, dabs are like wax concentrated
Yeah.
cannabis, so it's like taking like 8 blunts to the face, so I I built my tolerance up again, and I'm happy, but I've never been a dabber. But that
Mm-hmm.
night, dude, I was like, I was too high. Like immediately after I hit it, I had this giant head rush. And maybe if I was at my house, I would have enjoyed it more. But
Mm-hmm.
because I was at a place I wasn't too familiar with, I kind of was like, whoa, man, I don't know. I'm good. I'm done. And um it was a lot, man. It hit me quick.
Yeah.
I was super like out of it, but it was fun. I'm like, I wasn't too fried, but I was pretty fried. And but I mean, like I was saying, I mean, it's concentrated weed, so it's similar to the coke thing. But I know what you mean, because I'm more like what you're explaining, where it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a process. It's not an instant like crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the process is, I think, part of what real heads and stoners are like,
Yeah.
because I was using vape pens for a while, little pot vape pens, and the problem with that, dude, is it's too convenient. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're taking the fun out of it, in essence. Like if you do something all the time, it loses its value. So
Yeah.
the problem with a vape is, like, sometimes for me, weed is like a treat. It's my prize. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a long day and everyone's asleep. Now it's my time. Now I got to go out, smoke weed, watch an old classic movie online, or rent something cool, and just watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fun part for me. So watching some of these guys that are just smoking all day long, I mean, like, if you got nothing to do, I guess that's cool. But I just like the people that can smoke all day, but then they still do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the people I look up to, comedians and stuff like that, they're all like, they do their thing, but they're so busy. Like, and I think that's what you need to do is, as long as you're busy, that's part of it too, right? That's a distraction, right? So when
Yeah.
you're upset with things, part of keeping yourself away from that negative headspace is to keep yourself busy. And like we mentioned before, when we were younger, it was going to concerts. Me and you were still concert goers. I
Yeah.
mean, we
Absolutely.
both didn't even talk about it, but we both were at that Smashing Pumpkins show. What, last 2 years ago, year and
No,
a half, or it was a year ago,
it
maybe
was a year ago. It was
last
actually
summer.
right on my birthday. That on August 31st, it was my birthday.
Oh shit!
And
Okay.
and um and it's funny because I was re-listening to my pod to the episodes in your podcast,
Uh,
and we are talking about The Cure, and I was like, oh,
right,
The Cure's gonna play with like Deftones and like Tear for Fear, like
right. You said it was
and
down in L.A., I think.
yeah, in LA, and it was exactly on my birthday also, and I'm like, oh,
Mm.
but I can't make it because I already have plans. And yeah, my plans was to go see AFI,
Oh
Noah
yeah,
Gallagher of
and
Oasis, and
Smashing
Smashing
Pumpkins,
Pumpkins, which
dude.
was a great show.
Holy shit! I mean, I knew because my buddy Dover, huge Smashing Pumpkins fan too, but he's seen him before, and he told me, he's like, "You got to go. One of the
Yeah,
best live shows I've ever seen." And I was like,
yeah,
and I've always been a big fan of them.
hmm
But holy shit, dude! I mean, like, if it wasn't, I mean, every aspect of that concert,
oh yeah,
the stage setup with the crazy circus balloon like
yeah, with like the dolls kind of thing.
backdrops
Yeah,
and the clown shit, and it's just the way he was dressed in that weird robe, like he was some clergy member. And the Asian guitarist, I feel like an asshole because I don't know his name, but he fucking shreds.
James, Iowa, Aya, yeah,
Him and
James.
Corgan are fucking crazy good guitarists, like insanely good guitarists, very underrated. And seeing them live, I mean,
hmm
seeing him in his white Miami Vice suit, and
Yeah,
just seeing like that original lineup,
and
and
just pros, dude, just
dude,
fucking
every
pros.
aspect. I mean, when they played, I think you mentioned it, and I agreed wholeheartedly. When Zero came on,
Mm-hmm.
it was just heavy as fuck. Or Bullet with Butterfly Wings. It was just like,
With
damn, I got
Zero,
goosebumps just talking about it.
dude, I got the goosebumps right now too, just talking
Yeah,
about it too. But like Zero already has like a badass opening riff,
yeah,
hands down one of the best opening riffs to any song.
100%.
And when they played it, I'm not sure because they're playing it like even in even down tune or just the atmosphere or whatever, or having three fucking guitarists doing it at the same
Yeah.
time with the pinch harmonics. It was just like, fuck, these guys are heavy. And you wouldn't think of it when you hear like Tonight Tonight and you hear like all these other songs.
1979 or
Yeah.
Today.
Um,
See, that's what's so beautiful about Smashing Pumpkins is they're such a dynamic group. Like, I was listening to the Siamese Dream record, and
great album.
oh, dude, such a great record. And there was one song that stood out that I never really listened to before, but it became one of my instant favorites. Is Luna.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's got such a great little. I mean, every song of theirs is so good, but I just love his little bends he does in that song. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
moody. He's so cinematically moody.
You know what it is, dude? You know what it is? And I don't want to ruin Smashing Pumpkins for you, but Billy Corgan is heavily influenced by Sabbath. So the
That doesn't
tone,
ruin it for me. Everyone's influenced by Sabbath,
well,
pretty much.
yeah, but Billy has come out and like if I fucking know him, oh yeah, Billy tells me all the time. But Billy has come out in interviews and said like he just wanted to rip off the Sabbath guitar, and like they brought up that overdrive, muff, distorted,
Yeah.
overdrive sound, and I think that's what makes it super heavy, even though it's not like necessarily super shredding or like complicated riffs, but it's just
And
chord
which is
progressions.
funny
Yeah,
because live they shred it up though. They
yeah.
solo like crazy. And like people don't understand, people that don't know Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan is like could be a lead guitarist in another band. He could be easily a lead guitarist in a good band.
I
Him
just
and the other
remember,
guitarist.
I just remember that Asian cat, also James. He was also guitar player for a Perfect Circle.
No shit.
Yeah, he's also a
Because the other
guitarist for Perfect
guitarist
Circle.
is the dude from Tool.
Yeah,
Because I think a perfect circle is Justin Chancellor, and is Justin Chancellor the bass player? Yeah, and
I don't.
Adam Jones. I think or is it just Adam Jones? Maybe it's just
I know the
guitarist.
singer of a Perfect Circle is also a singer of Tool. That's for sure. I can't remember James Maynard. Is that his name?
Oh yeah, Maynard James Keenan.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And I know he plays with them. But funny story with the Smashing Pumpkins, they outperform Marilyn Manson. I went to see Marilyn Manson and
What
Smashing
year was it?
Pumpkins. I don't know, 2015
So
maybe.
they were already both well established.
Yeah, yeah. This is like five. Yeah, it was actually 5 years ago. Because I remember my brother Juan, who we just talked about, he
Mhm.
was going to get married, and I went with his now wife. We went over to my buddy's house up in like in Santa Cruz Mountains because she was like fixing up her wedding dress.
Right.
And on the way back, I was listening to Live 105, and they're like, "Oh, caller 10 gets free tickets to Smashing Pumpkins and Marilyn Manson." I'm like, "Oh, let me just call," and I won tickets. So
Dude, that's awesome.
I dragged my friend Ray, our friend Ray,
Right. Right.
amazing guy. And I'm like, "Hey, dude, you want to see Smashing Pumpkins and Marilyn Manson?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He loves going live shows and he loves music also as his therapy. So we went, and I remember he was like, "Fuck, dude, I can't believe Smashing Pumpkins like outperform Marilyn Manson. Like the stage show, the performance, everything, like they just outshine Marilyn Manson. And to like outdo Marilyn Manson, a person's known for like live shows and shit, like that's a
Yeah.
huge statement.
Well, and that's the other thing too is John Five is no spring chicken. That guy's a really good guitarist.
He's a good. I've seen him several
Amazing
times.
guitarist.
Yeah, I've seen him several times with like Rob Zombie and like
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. Even
Dude, I
here
mean,
at in San Jose.
you and me are the same. Like we've been to a million concerts. I don't even know if we can count how many concerts we've
Oh,
been to.
I can't anymore. And
Okay,
it's
I
like,
got a
oh yeah, I've
common
seen him.
question. What's your
Sure.
first concert?
First concert,
And not first cool concert. I mean first concert ever.
period. Okay. So two. One was like in '96, and I used to live in downtown San Jose. So they used to do like for Cinco de Mayo or September 16th, they used to close down all of downtown.
Oh, for the
And
Mexican Independence Day.
yeah, yeah. And they used to like do like Latin performers. And I remember once where what's it called? That bar right next to where the Greyhound station used to be, the
Oh,
Caravan.
Caravan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Caravan. They had that whole block closed down because Enrique Iglesias was gonna play. And this is like, sorry, this is
Oh,
Enrique
you're good.
Iglesias' first album, coming, up and coming new artist. And he played, and I remember seeing him perform, and he's like singing all his Spanish songs, and like I knew his music, I loved his music, I still do. So that was kind of cool seeing him, but I didn't pay; it was just free.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he wasn't even singing. I'm pretty sure he was just lip
Yeah.
singing.
Just lip
His
sync.
part wasn't even him to think about it, but fuck it. But I
Should
remember the
be.
first show was The Offspring at San Jose State Event Center, 1997. I was seventh grade, and they were touring for Insane in the Hombre, and I live like 3 blocks down from San Jose State Event Center, so I bought my ticket. It was like $25 or something. And I went. My parents were like, "All right, cool," and I went by myself, and it was just like, it was like quite an experience for me. It was like, holy shit. And
By yourself. That's ballsy.
yeah. But like, yeah, I went to big shows like that, but my first real, like, for me, my first real show was like a small at Slim's, and that was like year 2000, to see some pop punk bands. But
Oh, Slims, man.
rest in peace.
I know. That was my favorite place in the city.
Still is. But yeah, official first one is either Enrique Iglesias, then Pay,
And then
and
off.
then the following year, which was The Offspring on tour with Insane in the Hombre. But what was yours?
My first concert was a Radio Disney concert.
Really?
And it was, I still have the ticket stub. My
Really?
dad, it was year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like maybe sixth grade. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't even listening to metal yet.
Yeah.
The hardest shit I was listening to was like Radio, Nirvana,
Right.
Metallica, but I didn't even really listen to
Limp
Metallica
Bizkit.
and appreciate. Yeah, pretty much it was
Yeah.
like Corn, Limp Bizkit,
Yeah.
shit like those
The
popular.
whole new metal scene.
Yeah, and but even then, I wasn't really like one of the kids that listened to it, because all the kids that listened to Corn and Limp Bizkit in my elementary school. Well, one, I went to elementary school with Javier, who
Yeah.
is the drummer for Redfall, and now I think he plays in drums for fucking
For everybody.
some big ass band. My buddy was telling me,
Yeah.
but he went to Lick, and he, his name's Habib. Like he went by the name Habib, but
Yeah.
I always knew him as Javier. I mean, I met that kid in 5th grade.
Yeah. I met him also as Javier, so I still call him Javier. Even though I know him, he goes by Habib, but I know him as Javier too.
I always knew him as Javier because I had him in 5th grade, and he used to draw the little corn dolls because he was kind of one of the dudes who was like hella hip to drawing, and he was a big music head, and he was like they were deep in the Corn and the Limp Bizkit,
Yeah.
This was 5th grade, so that was heavy shit for 5th graders. And
Yeah,
we're 10 years
absolutely.
old. So for me, I thought that was like the heavy shit. And then like once I was like in 8th grade, that's when I got corrupted into learning all the roots. But
Metal.
anyway, my first concert was Radio Disney, and I remember the act. It was like all a bunch of teeny bopper bands, and then there was like this girl singer songwriter, and I think her name was Hoku or something. And they were all Disney radio shit crap that isn't even relevant. But I'm like, yeah, that's a lame concert. But what's my first cool concert? I think my first cool concert was fucking Ozfest 2002.
Oh, sweet. At the
Big
Shoreline?
deal. Yeah, that was a really big deal for me because I was only 14.
Did they have like Glassjaw in there and like?
Yeah, Glassjaw played in the parking lot. Black
the
Label played in the
Used.
parking lot. But I
Yeah.
wasn't listening to them yet. And then Down played in the parking lot. Wasn't listening to them yet either. Power Man 5000 was playing there, I think. Fucking Rob Zombie's little brother.
I still want to see that band live someday.
Power Man, for Bombshell?
Who?
Their song?
No, I used to love their Supernova. They used to have a song called like Supernova, and they had another one called like This Is When Worlds Collide or something.
Drop the bombshell.
Oh yeah,
that was them, right?
That was them.
Worlds
Yeah,
Collide. That was on Tony Hawk.
yeah.
That.
I'm gonna go back and listen to them.
It makes my microphone green right here. It's like makes me
Yeah, because it picks up on the black
stop
on my
trying to
mic.
erase me. But dude, yeah, like yeah, so that's our first concerts, not the most, I mean, kind of sums us up, but not completely. But
Yeah.
it's just like it's always been a thing for us. And now that this COVID thing's taken its course, who knows how that's going to change our, because I don't know how you feel. I'm not big on the buying for the virtual concerts. I mean, I feel like bands should charge, but Joe Bonamassa is doing one in September. It's $40. I'm like, for what? For me to watch you on a screen when I can just pull up a YouTube video?
Yeah, it is
I'm not
is
doing that.
weird. I know they're getting creative with it, and I
Needs to
know
be
they're
cheaper.
yeah, I know they're getting creative and they're trying to help out supposedly like their crew and stuff, which I'm all for that. I think it's a very good idea.
Right.
I'm like, I'd rather you just sell me like a merch, sell me like a T-shirt, and I'll
Well,
be more than happy.
here's the way I'm looking at it is if you're going to broadcast it globally, which if you're doing it on the internet, you're globally broadcasting it,
Yeah,
and you're charging $40 a pop, first of all, not that many people would have been able to even go to that one show.
yeah,
So you're making your money. Your overhead's way down because it's not this giant production where you need to, it's not. See, the thing is he is playing at a live venue. So I
mm-hmm.
wonder if that's part of the reason why he's charging so much. But still, I'm like, I'm not hearing it. I'm hearing it
Yeah.
through microphones, through cameras. I'm like, it shouldn't cost me 40 fucking bucks, bro.
You're gonna why? Because there's no tour manager. There's no like
Road
cost
crew,
of
I
like
mean,
travel or anything like that. There's no
even
guarantee.
even if there is, I mean, $20 a person is a little more reasonable. And if you get 40,000 people, I mean, you're not gonna, maybe not. He's got a big following, but if you get thousands of people watching it, $40 a pop, a lot of money.
Yeah. Here's another thing, and this kind of ties down to back where we were. I knew I was not in a good place in my mind because I remember my friend Melissa. She invited me to go see oh shit, she's gonna kill me because I forgot the name. The McKensers, or I don't know, some band at Slim's, and the opening band was Culture Abuse. And like I'm familiar with all those bands, and under any other circumstances I've been like, oh yeah, cool, let's go check it out. They're not like my favorite number one, bands, but like we grew up admiring musicians and like respecting musicians. Like even if it's music that we hate or we don't like,
Right.
we still we know how hard it is to be in a band and try to write music. And I remember going to that show and just being fucking miserable, dude. Like I was so the full 4 or 5 hours I was at this venue, I was fucking miserable.
Right.
And I reflect down now and I'm like, dude, I was not in a fucking good place. Like here we are talking, we literally just talked about how going to concerts and listening to music was like our therapy and our like escape. And here is the perfect time for me to use that therapy and escape to like for the sake of like being or like to forgetting something. I just remember being miserable in there, just like not wanting to be there. And I'm like, I think that's when I knew also like, okay, there might be something. Yeah, I'm going through something right now.
Right.
And yeah, man, I think like the whole life experience, like seeing all these bands now play like through YouTube and paying, see like it's cool. Yeah, they play when they have like the lights and everything, but
Right.
yeah, the light show is awesome, but for me, like you have to feel it. Like there's
Yeah, you got to
something
be
about
there.
like that Smashing Pumpkins "Zero" song will never hit as strong as
No,
if we wouldn't seen it live. If we would have heard it over the headphones or something rather than seeing it live, it would have never been the same.
it's rock and roll, and you
Yeah,
really can't replicate it in a home system. I mean, even if you got the nicest one and you're cranking it, because dude, they crank it live. Like we're gonna have hearing problems when we get older, and I'm okay with it because we
I'm
enjoyed our
fine.
youth. But
Yeah,
like, it's just it's not the same. Like you said, you don't feel the bass in your chest. You don't feel the
yeah.
drums. You don't feel the bass. You don't that guitars don't pierce your ears when they're
Hmm.
screeching, and it's just all that intensity and all that feel is just not. It's lost.
You don't admire the amount of of pre-planning it takes to put on a good show or a live show by seeing it online. Like it kind
Right.
of demeanors it, and this doesn't even feel live anymore. I remember right when COVID happened, I want to say Fox maybe did like a special where they had like a bunch of musicians like come out and perform
Oh,
from
like
their
a
house.
benefit.
Yeah, and I remember Backstreet Boys were in it, and like my whole house, like my sister, and my sister-in-law, were like, "Oh fuck yeah!" You know, like we're
Yeah.
excited. My some of my friends were like super excited, and just hearing them play, singing, quote unquote live, it didn't feel right. Like I was like, dude, this is they're not even singing live. It demeanors the whole live music experience. Like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not like I'm pretty like I'm by all means I'm not saying I'm a fucking Backstreet Boys #1 fan, but I happen to know their music. But I'm pretty sure like if I was to see Backstreet Boys live, that song I wanted that way would hit way differently than if
Yeah.
I saw it on TV.
Right. And I agree. I think, and plus moving forward, listening to them after that, you're going to have this memory from seeing them live. It's
Yeah,
going to make you love them more on tape or on, record or wherever you listen streaming. It's part of, like you said, the nostalgia. You're always going to have that really cool memory. Like for you, you're always probably going to have a soft spot for Offspring, right?
absolutely.
So it's like every time you listen to them, it's going to bring you back to that time. And it's just a special, like, little photo book kind of
Hmm.
memory keepsake you kind of have for those moments.
And I think that's what we thrive for. Like in our journey through adulthood and journey of, you know, making whatever this that makes us happy, we try to reach that point where we were happy before, or memories, or we try to recreate those memories that we had before. And it sucks because we want to kind of live in the past and
Mhm.
be happy and have certain feelings, but at the same time we cannot be stuck in the past because
Right.
we're not those same people anymore, dude. like
No.
yeah, I would love to go back and relive, 2 or 3 years ago or something, but I'm not that same person. And yeah, it might suck right now where I'm at right now. I have memories of other happier times and I wish I can be that person again, but you can't go
No.
back. And you you're just wasting your time and energy dwelling on the past and trying to live this like happy memory that if you go back and you actually think about it, maybe it wasn't that good.
No. And that's true. Um, I think, like we're saying with this whole episode, is basically just music has kind of been one of our teachers and one of our, shoulders to cry on throughout life, not
Hmm.
just with entertainment, but it's been part of our therapy. And I think everyone kind of needs to do, and everyone has like their niche of what speaks to them. And that's what music is. You shouldn't listen to music because it's cool. You shouldn't listen to music because other people listen to it. You should listen to what you like.
Yeah.
And I got some guilty pleasures, dude.
Oh, dude, do you want me to start
I can,
naming some, or
I'm going to name two guilty pleasures I have.
let's go with three so I can name three guilty
Three? Okay.
pleasures. All right.
All right. Should I go first?
You want to go? You say one, then I say one.
Okay. We're not going to do all three. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll go first then.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure number one, Gloria Estefan.
Okay.
Oh, do I got to
Gu-
elaborate or are we just naming them off?
no, no need.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
circle of trust here. Guilty pleasure number one, Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. I'm cool with that. I like some of
You're
her
like,
stuff. I like the 1989 record.
I have that vinyl, bro. I play that vinyl all
It's a
the
good
time. It's
record.
fucking great. She's a great music. This is not a Tay Swift thing, but I love her songs. Like her writing structure is just so damn well,
That album was cool. It kind
and
of
just the
spoke to me
fact that
too.
she writes all their music. And I seen her like she does. There's a couple on YouTube where like she plays like her music, like just herself, just her and the guitar,
Mhm.
and she's singing like Blank Space, or she's
Dude,
singing.
that's a good one.
And I'm just like, fuck, she's really talented. I'm never gonna be that talented. I kind of low key hate her right now, but at the same time, I love her.
I know. I wish I could sing. I have so many things I could say that I could
Same.
put to a beautiful voice, but I am not a muse.
Yeah.
I'm
All
like
right, so Gloria Stefan and
Iago from Aladdin.
Jafar.
Yeah. Next for me is George Michael.
Oh, that's not so bad.
No, it's not, but it's a guilty pleasure because I feel like a lot of dudes. I don't think it's because he's gay, but I think it's because it's a very contemporary artist from the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, father figure,
That's
and
your shit.
George Michael. First of all, had some pipes on him, and
Yeah.
like, dude, I knew he was gay, but if he wasn't gay, man, he would have been a ladies' man because he was good looking. He had
Yeah.
that swagger with his voice. He
Yeah.
could sing, dude, and it was just like I don't know.
He
I was late on the hype with him, but
yeah.
I got
He was
into
a
all
pretty
that stuff.
he's a pretty guy.
He's dope, man.
He's a pretty
I
guy.
always thought he was a badass. I got mad respect for George Michael.
I can respect that. All right, guilty pleasure number 2 for me. See, the thing is, like, I feel like they're guilty pleasure for me because they go against, or I wouldn't say they go against, but they're not like the bands that you would think like, oh, he listens to that
Right.
type of. So I'm not even gonna say it's a guilty pleasure because hundreds and thousands of people like them, but they just get a bad
Hundreds
rap.
of thousands of people like all the other guilty ones we named already too.
Yeah, but Coldplay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean about it not being necessarily a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
But I know
uh,
what you mean as well because it doesn't fit the category of someone that goes to the cave.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
if
not necessarily, but yeah, I know
I
what you
mean,
mean.
if 15-year-old me would be telling me that 20 years from now you're gonna say you love Coldplay, and I would have been like, the guys who sing Yellow, that band fucking sucks.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
no, dude. I mean, when I was in seventh grade, I got called up. I'll use the word just for to keep it can't keep it 100% transparent, but I used to get called a faggot because I like Third Eye Blind,
And I
and
can
I'm not going to
easily
list them as a guilty pleasure, but
no, I can easily I love Dirt Blind, dude. Are you
oh, dude,
kidding
but I
me?
remember, and I this is such a lame point, but I'm gonna mention it, and then I'll get to my number three. But I remember wrote the band name on my binder. Didn't even have a sticker, right?
Yeah.
And I some guy in math class, God, this was what, probably seventh grade. I had such low self-esteem in middle school, but um one of these Mexican kids, because I used to just get punked by Mexican kids when I was in middle school. So
Uh,
they'd
Damn
be like,
Mexicans.
what the fuck? Do you like Third Eye Blind? That's gay as fuck. And you know what I said, dude? I was like, oh, this is my sister's binder.
You didn't fucking own it.
Why would I have my sister's binder?
Yeah.
You know, it's like back then I literally avoided confrontation, was
Mm-hmm.
so scared of being bullied that I just didn't, I would lie. And I feel
Yeah.
like that made it easier for them to bully me.
Yeah.
But I just wanted it to end so fast. I would just be like, oh, it's not mine, man. And I look back and I laugh at it now because I should, because that was the wrong thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just been like, look, man, I like it. I don't give a fuck what you think. That would have been
Yeah.
cool. If I could go back and do that, that dude wouldn't have said
Yeah.
shit to me ever again. But
Yeah.
like, that's not how kids think. And kind of like, I guess it speaks big on this whole thing too, is like, as we get older, we learn to just do things for ourselves and
Yeah.
do what makes you happy. And regardless of what other people think. And that's the whole point of this guilty pleasure thing, right? Is saying what you like that isn't necessarily hip to
Yeah.
who you people think you are or what they think is hip, but it's what you think is hip. And that's what music is. Music is like art. Someone would pay $12,000 for a Picasso, and the guy next to him might only want to spend 10
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't look at it like a piece of fine art. It's the same with music. You can't really convince someone. I mean, me and you can agree on a lot of music,
Yeah.
but some people would look at us like, I'm not into that. And and
Yeah.
that's their world. And that's cool. Because that's the thing about music is it's just like, you gotta have a palette for what you're listening to as well. And your palette changes, your palette
Mm-hmm.
grows. It's always changing. And that's the beauty of it.
And I think you bring up a good point. Because I remember I'll be on YouTube and then like they'll recommend me to watch like Falling in Reverse or Motionless in White
Yeah.
or Escape the Fate. And I know myself like early 20 Danny, if somebody would have, if I would listen to like those bands, I would have been like, oh, this is fucking gay, blah, blah, blah. This is so
Right.
dumb. And now I listen to it and I'm like, it's not my cup of tea, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. Obviously, they're doing something right if they're like selling out tours and playing and still being relevant 10, 15 years since it first came out.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea. And I think that's a very like mature, maybe as a musician, we're like, okay, yeah, we can respect the hustle. But yeah, but they're not my guilty pleasure. My third guilty pleasure, I wouldn't even say is a guilty pleasure also, because I love the rap line too.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm think for my third, I don't know. See, because same thing. It's like, yeah, it might be a guilty pleasure, but at the same time, it's like, is it really though? But
Third.
Adele, and I
Well,
feel like
that's
she's
not bad.
amazing.
I bought the
Yeah,
24 album when it
I
came out.
dude, I cannot listen to that. Someone like you, so, like any of her songs, I cannot listen to because
Get
I
a little
start crying.
emotional.
Oh, dude,
Hello,
emotions.
hello used to get me emotional, but then it got so played out, it's not as
Yeah,
emotional for me anymore. But
yeah.
that was a really good song when it first came out.
Um, the "Oh, I set fire
Oh,
to
to
the
the
rain."
rain.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I seen her live, and that
You've
girl
seen
can fuck.
Adele live?
I got lucky and saw Adele live when she was here in San, when she
What
played in San Jose for like 3 nights.
the
She she was amazing, bro.
She was
She
still
was,
big then too, huh?
yeah, she was not like, she was, I would not recognize her nowadays
I know, I kinda liked her when she was a little thicker.
because she seemed more real. Not
Yeah, it's
saying
like a
she's not
real
real. I'm not trying to
right.
disrespect Adele, but
I'm not into fat shaming, I'm into fat glorifying.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I just
just
appreciate if you are who you are, but at
yeah,
the same time, if she wants to change herself, that's up to her as well.
that's her
But
decision, 100%.
I was like, I thought she looked good for a bigger girl.
She she's
I thought she looked nice.
she's definitely pretty, but oh man, that girl can fucking sing.
Dude, holy shit.
Jesus
She's got
Christ.
the pipes on her.
And it's funny because like I'll put my like my Spotify on shuffle or whatever, and it'll be like Behemoth, Darth, Dark Funeral, and then it'll be
Yeah,
like Kill Switch Engaged, and then next thing you know it,
Dell.
is You Are My Fire. I'm like, oh shit, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
sorry. I'm
No,
like,
dude, that
oh,
happens to me all the time.
that
Like
got
I
in there.
can't I can't go rolling down the road blasting like Gloria Stefan after I just played fucking Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, like it'll be fucking
Like
Slayer,
Hammer
and
Smash
then
Face and it goes right into fucking Here We Are.
yeah. No. Oh, you know who else? Oh, you know what? Take back the Adele as a guilty pleasure. I put Europe as my guilty
All
pleasure.
right. I think that counts a little more because they're a little more cheesy.
Yeah, they I saw them live actually. And I have their set list somewhere here
Did
in
they
my
end with
reminder.
the final countdown?
They did.
They have to. I
They
feel
did.
like you have to
That's the
close.
song.
That
That's
has
the
to end.
song. But I remember when I was 10, my cousin gave me that CD, The Final Countdown by Europe.
Mm.
And that's just opened up my whole world for like rock music.
Yeah.
I love that fucking album. I still like, I remember seeing Europe live, and I was like, I'm not even gonna listen to their music. Like, let me see if I can still remember. And when it started playing like the songs from that CD, I knew it word by word. Like it wasn't even like, oh, I forgot it, or oh yeah, I remember this. No, it was like, fuck, I still remember it. Then that's how I knew, like, yeah, this album is pretty important to me.
Dude.
But yeah, Europe.
I mean, it's a catchy little chuggity chug riff.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. It's a little
the
mall
synthesizer.
with
Anything
the
with a
glamour
synthesizer
there.
is cool with me.
They were really good, and their drummer was like really badass.
God, I'm trying to think of what my number three would be. Because I only really had two. And then I'm
Yeah.
trying to think, well, okay, my number three. God.
It's probably the Wiggles.
Oh,
Your
the Wiggles.
father.
Yeah. No, I hate kid music. I used to drive
So
my kid.
horrible.
I used to drive my mom and dad crazy, I'm sure, with ours, but I can't do the kid stuff now. My kid right now, Champ loves Blippy. I can't do that. I'm glad Baby Shark is kind of making its way out.
Yeah, that
That was
was
terrible.
yeah.
I would have almost rather been bombed by Korea than had to listen to a Pink Fung, which is a Korean company, do that shit.
Mhm.
Um, because at least the bombing would end it all.
It'll be quick and fast.
But yeah, dude, I mean, guilty pleasure, fuck. I mean,
It
that's
I
I have
think it's
so
hard.
many.
I think it's hard because we don't have no shame.
Well, that's the thing. We have such a
Yeah.
wide spectrum that we listen to, but I'm trying to think of something that I, like you said, something you would kind of like skip over if it's blasting out of your car, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good example. So let's see. I did Gloria Stefan. I did uh,
George Michael.
George Michael, which is funny because I don't think I'd turn down either one. But
Yeah, me too.
um, fuck, who else do I have? Let's see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave that one open
Yeah,
for now since I can't figure it out.
for sure.
But I think this is a good place to end for episode 2.
Yeah.
You know, we musically kind of went out and explained, you know, what the heathens we were when we were younger at the cave, and then
Yeah.
like what kind of keeps us going now, even, and
Yeah.
just kind of let everyone know, like, listen, you need to just go out and find something that works for you.
Mhm.
Don't just listen to top 40. Don't just listen to the coolest rap, unless that's what you really want to listen to.
Yeah.
Go out, put some headphones on, because that's the beauty of headphones. No one hears what you're hearing. So you can play
Okay.
it as loud as you want. You can play
Yeah.
whatever you want and just go do it, because there's times when sometimes people can't get through to you and you need to get talked off that ledge. And in my experiences as well, it's music will always kind of help you
Yeah.
kind of talk yourself down a little bit and say, look, man, I'm bigger than this. You know, the time came and went, but I'm still here. You know, we're still here, and you know, that's what matters.
Yeah.
But
And for me, I think music is also like the ultimate time capsule. You know, it's like sometimes you can't express how you feel or what you want to say, and sometimes these artists wrote like the song you've been thinking, and they put the lyrics, they put the words that you want to feel, and you're like, and it hits different, and then it kind of makes you realize you're not alone in it.
yeah,
You're not
exactly.
alone. I mean, I'm not saying like obviously when I fucking hear Behemoth, it doesn't give me like, oh, rise, Satan, you know, take over. Like I'm not.
Right.
It doesn't hit that hard, but like
The
with other artists,
heaviness,
yeah, I
the
think with other
catchiness.
artists, it definitely does. Like it hits, and it's kind of like that's always been our therapy, you know. And I think, yeah, like bringing up the cave, our music and stuff, that's always been a therapy, and like it is a stepping stone. It's meditation. It, for some reason, when people are working, they put music in the background.
Yeah,
You know, for some reason, people love
concentration.
Pitbull because he does. You know, he
Yeah, I don't
makes
get that.
certain people feel.
I just don't like reggaeton though, man.
I grew in reggaeton and
Sorry.
Latin trap. That I kind of got into it now. It's like with Bad Bunny, Osuna, all
Oh,
that
see, I
shit.
don't know all that, so maybe it's cooler.
Don't do it. You know, okay. Yeah, I gotta be honest
Can't do
with you.
Kulo, and I mean, that's so old school.
Hey, I gotta be honest with you, Cooper.
Uh,
My I had a happy hour earlier today with my coworkers, like a digital happy hour,
right.
and my coworker goes, "Oh, you guys, uh, Cardi B put out a new song, so
Oh
you have to
God.
listen to it." So he played it, and yeah, same reaction first. Oh God. Then the song is called WAP,
Nice.
which growing up for us,
It's racist
WAP
against
meant money.
Italians. Or oh that. Or well, yeah.
Well, what were you gonna say?
Well, it's a racial slur against Italians.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, WAP is money?
Yeah, like, oh, I
See,
have a
that's
whop
how.
of cash. Like
Oh,
I have like
okay.
a stack
WAP
of
is,
cash.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But apparently now WAP stands for I'm
Wet ass pussy.
wet ass pussy. It's exactly what it stands for.
No shit.
That's exactly what it stands for.
Are you
Wet ass
serious?
pussy. I'm 100%
I
serious.
can't believe I guessed that right.
You're not that old, Coop.
Apparently not.
But this song is so raunchy. It's so ridiculous on the shit she's
Can't believe
saying.
I got that right.
There's a Coop, there's a line on that song that says, "He ate my ass. He's a bottom eater or bottom feeder."
All right, I'm about to check this song out.
Like, bring a mop and bucket to get this wet ass pussy. You know, it's kind of like it's just like
I thought you were gonna be like, bring a mop and bucket, cause we about to fuck it.
yeah,
That would
no,
have been a
I'm pretty sure
hilariously terrible line in a
I'm
rap
pretty
song.
sure it's probably in that song, but I was listening to it and at first I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh, the
But then I
concept.
listened to it like 10 times back to back and I'm like,
You started dancing.
"No, I'm like, all right, I get you. Oh, I see you. I see you, Cardi B. Again, it's in my favorites now. So if I was to put in like a mix on my Spotify, like
Right.
if it comes up, I'll definitely put that
Wow.
song down.
I think
Yeah, I'll be like, oh shit, how the fuck that happened? Oh,
I
let
got a
me.
new song now I gotta look up.
It's so ridiculous, dude. But again, it's that music that makes you feel like a certain way, dude. And it's just
Yeah.
like I'm not saying I can relate to that song.
You know what? It makes you feel like, you know what it is? Because obviously, like you said, you can't relate to the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're directly relating to it. It's that it's putting, and that's part of music is you're applying what the message is to yourself and how it would be for you. Not that I'm saying you're imagining yourself having a wet ass pussy.
Oh,
But what I'm
damn,
saying
you're
is
on to me, dude.
not like some Mrs. Doubtfire shit, but what I'm saying is, you're just like, maybe you're in the mindset of the guy in the video or something, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's how that's how us guys are. Like, you might like a pop singer. It's not like you want to be, see, girls want to be the pop singer, guys want to do something else. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like they're musing to you, they're singing to you. So you're
Mhm.
kind of like taking their words like they're singing to you. That's the way I always looked at female
Yeah.
singers when I liked them, was they were like my like a siren. They were singing to me like I was the only one listening, even though I know it's not true, but that's the
Mhm.
way I feel and want to feel, because when I listen to the music, it's like a love letter, right?
Yeah.
Like if you listen to like Adele singing you, can you imagine if she wrote you a song when you
Bro,
were
you know
dating?
what's funny?
Your heart would melt.
Bro, I used to imagine that Rihanna, her were like diamonds in the sky.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, she's singing about me.
She's like
That's
petting your head and singing that to you while you
yeah.
fall asleep.
You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. And I'm like, you're right, babe. We are. We're like
Right.
diamonds in the sky.
And then you're
But
like, and then she tried to tell you where to turn, and then you decided to pull a Chris Brown and you threw out of the car.
or like when Stefani's singing, "Don't speak, I know what you're saying," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I will
She's
never hurt.
hot too.
I will never hurt you. One, I will never hurt you."
You know what I
I'm.
learned?
What you learn?
That she was not one. She's not the original She's not the original front person of the group. I don't want to say
Yeah,
frontman because she's the woman.
no, yeah.
But they got their name from the original frontman, whose favorite thing to say was "No doubt."
Really?
Well, that's what I heard on the radio today.
Yeah, I believe it
I mean, it's got to be somewhat true.
because I
You
know
wouldn't broadcast it
I know she was like the keyboard player, like ex
because I think it
keyboard
was a
player's
dude
like
that sang
brother or something.
originally.
Huh?
I think it was a dude that originally was the singer.
I'm pretty sure there was, but Gwen
But I don't.
Stefani
I
was
mean, their
always badass.
success was, yeah. I
Yeah.
think they took that turn massively when she jumped in front.
And of course, I because I also read this with like Paramore, like you put a female singer and all the attention goes to that person, and
Yeah.
Paramore was always like Haley Williams was always like, well, I just sing, like tell
Yeah.
them they're like the ones writing these
Well, and that's
songs.
why I think that's somewhat, there's some truth to that, but I also think it's bullshit because if no doubt, I mean, the musicianship in that band is really, really good. If
Hmm.
you didn't have that band, I don't know about that. I don't know if Gwen
Yeah,
Stefani would just be Gwen Stefani without the band.
yeah,
Just like with Paramore, I don't know if they had that like catchy pop punk kind of style, if
hmm,
they would have been the same kind of band. So I agree with what you said, because it's like they're a complete package. Even though she
yeah,
stands out, she can't stand out without the band. So
yeah, and I think it's like okay, cool, yeah, you giving me all this, but don't give me all this attention just because
yeah,
I'm a
just because she's
girl,
a girl,
like.
yeah, and a woman.
Like I just saying like if you think the songs are really good, like you should tell them. They're the ones who
Yeah, we're the
writing the
band.
songs and shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just me.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, definitely music is something that makes us feel a certain way and it helps us relax and it helps us, you know, reassure us that we're gonna be okay. And I try to listen to music at least once every day, or like listen to music as I drive and listen to stuff. So definitely music is like a good starter. If whoever's listening to this and you feel like you're having a bad day or you're kind of off or something, put some music, man. Listen to some jazz.
Yeah.
Listen to some reggae. Listen to 60s and British pop. Listen to something that you probably never listened to,
Hmm.
and you'll be surprised how you'll react to it. And maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, but it will definitely help you erase or help you like ease or help you like forget what you're going through, at least for like that
Right.
3 minutes of a song or whatever. And it's very therapeutical.
Hmm. Best therapy there is sometimes.
Yeah. And it's 100% free. Well, I
Just
mean,
like this podcast. But please, if you'd like to
yeah.
donate, there are links below.
Please do, to keep the lights on.
But yeah, no, so I think it's a good place to head out.
Hmm.
We will see you guys next time, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys, and keep on. We love the feedback. Tell us what you guys think, and come say hi.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And yes to everyone, non denominational out there that don't want
We
to
are,
describe what they are.
yeah, we are all about the LGBTQ plus community.
And the Z's and the four T's and all them. And by the way, just because we acknowledge you and respect you doesn't mean we won't make fun of you as well. So keep that
Yeah,
in mind.
we
Equal
show,
opportunity.
yeah, we show our respect by dissing you.
Yes, equal
Yes,
opportunity roasting.
yes, yes.
Everyone needs a voice and everyone needs to get shit on every once in a while. Respectfully.
Respectfully. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Hey, good talk, bro. I'll see you
All
next
right.
time.
Later, guys.
Peace.